Hello, I'm Daniel Anthony and you're watching KiniFlash. The representatives from the Malaysian Red Movement Coalition, popularly known as the Red Shirts, are expected to deliver speeches on human rights and poverty at the United Nations headquarters in New York next month. The NGO gained attention during the Barisan Nasional Administration with its protests led by former leader Jamal Muhammad Yunus. The group's new leader, Bahri Muhammad Tahir, said that Jamal had resigned from the post on the 25th of January and the group is now focused on advocating human rights in the country, which was its original intention. According to Bahrain, the movement was invited by the International Service for Human Rights and Amnesty International on the 23rd of August for its program called Human Rights Council Elections 2019, discussions of candidate states' visions in conjunction with the election for the 2020 to 2022 term. Prime Minister Dr. Mahathir Mohamad has responded to claims by UMNO President Ahmad Zahid Hamidi that Pakatan Harapan is falling apart. When reporters asked the Premier about Zahid's claims today, this was his response.
You can see whether I'm working alone or not.
Walking alone?
I'm walking everywhere. And everywhere I go, people come to shake hands and to express their support.
So that's denial?
Yeah, but even in the party, you can see that this cabinet has stayed together and been able to make decisions on even critical issues.
In his speech to launch the Malaysian Indian Congress's 73rd General Assembly at the Putra World Trade Center in Kuala Lumpur yesterday, Zahid had likened the alleged internal fighting within Pakatan Harapan to a, quote, political gangrene that will eventually break apart the ruling coalition. Zahid claimed that Mahathir was alone in Harapan as PKR under Anwar Ibrahim and Lim Kit Siang for DAP were actively strategizing against his leadership. Selangor Menteri Besar Amira has also come out to deny Zahid's claims. Speaking to journalists after attending the Selangor Wanita PKR convention in Shah Alam yesterday, Amira said that Mahathir is instead gaining more support as many leaders, even some from UMNO, are joining Bersatu and supporting Harapan.
UMNO hari ini mendakwa yang kepimpinan Tun sekarang ini bersendirian kerana Presiden PKR dan Lim Kit Siang merancang menolak kepimpinan
yang pastinya Datuk Zahid Hamidi, rakan-rakan gabungan BN makin lama makin sikit. Jadi janganlah cakap Tun seorang. Tun makin banyak orang parti UMNO melompat pada BBM dan parti Barisan Nasional melompat menyokong Pakatan Harapan. Jadi cermin diri dulu.
Prime Minister Dr. Mahathir Mohamad has dismissed speculation that Australia's controversial Linas Corp is allowed to continue operating its rare earth refinery in Malaysia in order to further Japanese interests.
We invited them to come and invest in Malaysia, but of course later on we found that they produce a lot of waste. That is the problem. But we sent in experts to examine whether it is dangerous or not. The experts reported that it is not dangerous, but the people who are against liners, they still want to get rid of liners. It is a big investment, 1.7 billion. It creates 700 jobs, high quality, high paid jobs. It is necessary for our investment. And if we treat liners like a pariah and ask them to leave this country, we will not get other people to come to this country to invest.
So it's a denial?
Huh?
It's a denial that because you're close to Japan?
Nothing to do with Japan.
The anti-Linas lobby, including Kuantan MP Fuzia Saleh, has repeatedly alleged that Malaysia was playing a role in ensuring the supply of rare earth to Japan in exchange for cheap loans. Linas has a loan agreement with Japan Australia Rare Earths BV or JARE and supplies Japanese customers. The government recently extended the operating license for Linas's refinery by 6 months and instructed the company to set up a permanent disposal facility for its radioactive water leach purification waste. Under the terms of the renewal, Linas also has to shift the cracking and leaching phase of its operations overseas within 4 years and terminate efforts to commercialize the WLP waste. Home Minister Muhyiddin Yassin said today that anyone who touches on racial sensitivities to the extent of causing instability in the country will not escape the long arm of the law, and this includes permanent residents. Muhyiddin was responding to questions regarding developments in the police investigation on controversial Muslim preacher Dr. Zakir Naik, who reportedly made controversial statements against Indian and Chinese Malaysians during a recent speech in Kota Baru.
ada beberapa perkara yang harus dia terima sebab dia diberikan taraf PR itu sebagai satu anugerah oleh negara dan dia tak boleh melanggar tata etika dan sebagainya itu, dan juga undang-undang. Nobody is above the law. Zakir naik ke, Zakir turun ke, sama semua kena. Yeah? So not that we don't respect. Jangan salah faham bahawa ada masyarakat Islam kata nak mempertahankan dia, betul. Dia seorang penceramah, seorang tokoh agama sebagainya. Tapi kadang-kadang kalau dia menyentuh hal tertentu macam sekarang, kita tak boleh biarkan juga. Kan? Kalau dengan sebab itu tercetus keadaan ketidakstabilan, rasa tak puas hati yang merebak meluas disebabkan oleh tutur bahasa dan sebagainya digunakan. Adakah kita nak berdiam diri? Saya tak fikir tidak, mana kita tidak hormat. Hormat dari certain boundary yang dia harus patuh. Sama ada dia PR, apalagi warga negara Malaysia, dia tak terkecuali. Law, dia tak boleh mengatasi undang-undang yang ada. Itu sikap yang kita ambil dalam menguruskan urusan keselamatan negara.
Zakir had caught flack for his remarks during the speech he made on the 8th of August in Kelantan. The Indian-born preacher, who is being investigated by the police, claimed that his remarks were taken out of context and has since apologized. Meanwhile, past President Abdul Hadi Awang said that his party has advised Dr. Zakir to focus on religious preaching instead of politics, following the controversy he has generated over comments about Hindu and Chinese Malaysians. Hadi said this in response to MIC President S.A. Vigneswaran's criticism of PAS over its spirited defense of Zakir. Now let's take a look at international news. Brazil has begun tackling forest fires in the Amazon. On Sunday, President Jair Bolsonaro authorized military operations in 7 states to combat the raging fires that are currently devastating the world's largest tropical rainforest. Brazil has deployed firefighters and military personnel to the Amazon states to help combat wildfires in the world's largest tropical rainforest. A video posted by the Defense Ministry on Saturday evening showed a military aircraft pumping thousands of liters of water out of planes as it passed through clouds of smoke close to the forest canopy. According to the National Institute for Space Research (INPE), nearly 80,000 fires have been registered across Brazil through the 24th of August, the highest since at least 2013. Brazil's President Jair Bolsonaro announced that the military will be sent in on Friday after several days of criticism from the public and world leaders that Brazil's government was not doing anything to fight the fires. The Amazon, which provides 20% of the planet's oxygen, is home to an estimated 1 million indigenous people from up to 500 tribes, as well as 3 million species of plants and animals. Our next story takes us to Hong Kong, where police have escalated their use of force in running battles with brick-throwing protesters on Sunday. The clashes over the weekend were a return to unrest after days of calmer demonstrations before. Police in Hong Kong fired water cannons and tear gas in running battles with brick-throwing anti-government protesters on Sunday. The protesters, many in masks and wearing black, threw several petrol bombs, some of them taking off down narrow side streets in the pouring rain. Water cannons have never been used until now in years of anti-government protest in the Special Administrative Region. Protesters once again adopted cat-and-mouse tactics late in the evening, moving swiftly to locations across the former British colony, where they set up barricades to block some roads, following a largely peaceful rally earlier in the day. The clashes on Saturday and Sunday marked a return to unrest after days of calmer demonstrations. The protests, which started in June over a now-suspended extradition bill, have rocked Hong Kong for 3 months, occasionally causing serious disruption, including unrest at the airport. Police said that they arrested 29 men and 7 women aged between 12 and 48 for offences including unlawful assembly, possession of offensive weapons, and assaulting police officers. Before we wrap up, ladies and gentlemen, here are some other news highlights from today. And with that, that's all we have today. For more, you can log on to KiniTV.com. Don't forget, you can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook for the latest news. I'm Daniel Anthony. Thank you for watching.